You mean up or down?
I mean,
colder.
make it colder.
It wants the hair on.
It's kind of stuffy.
Yeah.
It wasn't until you walked in.
I believe the gentleman right there, Billy, is out there with them. And so, we'll have to.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
All right, Bill, we're ready. We will call this meeting to order. And if you all will bow with me, I will lead us in our invocation this morning. Dear Lord, we thank you for this day that we have. We thank you for the beautiful sunshine that we've experienced and the warmth of it. Dear Lord, it just makes us all feel better inside, and just to know that you are the one that is providing the sunshine and the warmth to us. We thank you, dear Lord, for your healing power and for bringing our brother Magistrate Harmon back with us today. And it's so good to see him, and we're just so thankful that he is with us in this meeting today. We pray special blessings on each and every person that is here today, dear Lord, and that you would just help us to do the county's business, and dear Lord, to do it at your will, that we will seek your guidance and come to you for problems that we have, for discussions that we need to have, and that everything, dear Lord, would just be done in your will, and that it would be for the good of our constituents in the districts and the county that we serve. We thank you for all the blessings that you give to us, and we just pray special blessings on each and every one here today. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. And if you'll stand, we'll do our pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and you may be seated. Good to see everybody here today. Welcome. Okay, we are going to approve our prior meeting minutes, and Katina has gone to print me a copy. So if anybody wants to tell me the dates that we're approving.
It was March 22nd and 28th.
Okay, March 22nd
Special
and
meeting
March
on
28th.
22nd and regular on the 28th, and I'll make a motion that we approve both those as presented.
Okay, motion made by Magistrate Gay and seconded by Magistrate Bodner to approve the meeting minutes of 3/22 and 3/28. Is there any discussion?
Judge, on page 3, and it was my comment under solid waste, and I hope the tape reflects this, I was suggesting that when we get the new equipment on composting, that we, yes, share it with the city of Danville, but at a cost. And I think we had some slight discussion. In other words, they will have needs, and we can amortize the cost of that new equipment if they would choose.
Are you on the 28th?
Yes, I'm on the 28th. Yes, on page 3.
On page 3.
Under which?
Under solid waste, 2 down and 4 lines down, Magistrate Ellis asked if this was a shared grant. That was not the intent of my comments. I hope I said it more clearly, that it was our intent that we could share the equipment at a cost to Danville for their needs.
Okay.
I thought it looks like it answers it. It says it is not, Boyle will own it. I guess you just want to add in there that
We will share it with the city.
if we share it, there'll be a cost to share.
Correct, yeah.
So not really
The
a share.
correction should be made that we haven't got no money yet.
Okay.
We just put in the grant, it was
Yeah,
just,
we've just applied for the grant.
we just applied for the grant,
Good
so.
deal.
And that is all.
Okay. Any other discussion on the minutes? All right, all those in favor of the motion to approve the minutes, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries, minutes are approved. Okay, now we will move on to approving the bills.
Alrighty, the bills we have to be paid this meeting is in total of $795,157.49.
Make a motion we approve.
Second.
Motion made by Magistrate Cullen, seconded by Magistrate Bodner to approve the bills. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. Thank you, Elena.
Thanks, guys.
Elena is doing a great job. I just want to throw that out there. She is
Thank you.
caught right on and just moving forward. So, thank you, ma'am.
She doesn't want to go back to solitary confinement.
Solitary confinement wasn't that bad. I learned a lot.
All right, we'll do the budget transfer. Darlene?
Budget transfers this week, I have general fund, $33,004.21. Public Works, $57,760. And joint jail fund, $30,500. All totaling $121,264.21.
Make the motion that we approve the budget transfers as presented. Second.
Okay, motion made by Magistrate Gay, second by Magistrate Sleeper to approve the budget transfers. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. And cash transfers?
I have one cash transfer this week from general fund to joint jail for $50,000.
Okay.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion made by Magistrate Bodner, seconded by Magistrate Cullen to approve the cash transfers. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Thank you, Darlene.
Thank you.
Good job. All right, then we have the old business, ordinance number 221.29.4. This is the second reading of the amendment to the annual budget in the amount of $85,000 for election expense reimbursement. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Darlene?
No.
Okay.
So moved.
Motion to approve the second reading.
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
Okay, Magistrate Ellis makes a motion. Magistrate Bodner seconds it. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, new business. We have Jon Strom with KYMBA, and you're going to have to tell us what that stands for, Jon.
I will be happy to. Thank you all so much for having me this morning. Magistrate Bodner invited me here today. My name is Jon Strom. I'm the president of the Bluegrass chapter of the Kentucky Mountain Bike Association.
Okay.
We're here to talk a little bit about what our organization does and why we think that adding some more mountain bike trails here in Boyle County would be a good idea for your community, both from a budgetary and from a public health and from a community building standpoint. KYMBA Bluegrass is an organization that's focused on advocating for building and maintaining off-road natural surface trail systems while fostering a vocal, welcoming outdoor community here in central Kentucky. We're entirely supported by volunteer efforts. Our board members, officers, trail stewards, and volunteers log thousands of hours of trail maintenance, construction, outreach and advocacy, community building efforts, events, clinics, things like that all throughout the year in central Kentucky. Almost all of our trails are multi-use trails. That means they can be enjoyed not just by mountain bikers, but by hikers and dog walkers, birders and botanists, trail runners, pretty much anybody who just wants to spend a little more time in nature. We're a local partner with the International Mountain Bike Association and currently operate 7 systems in the Bluegrass region. 2 in Lexington, Veterans Park and Deer Haven Park, 2 in Frankfort, West 6th Farm and Capitol View Park, 1 in Scott County, the Skullbuster Trails on the reservoir property, 1 in Versailles, which is the Knucklehead Trails at the Life Adventure Center, and 1 in Berea, which is Silver Creek Bike Park. And you're going to hear me talk about Silver Creek Bike Park quite a bit today. We are also a proud supporter of the Kentucky Interscholastic Cycling League. This is one of the more exciting things to happen in outdoor recreation in central Kentucky, or in Kentucky in a long time. This was founded in 2019 as a member of the National Interscholastic Cycling Association, and it's designed to facilitate and develop middle school and youth mountain biking teams that will then go through and do races and coaching events and practices and adventure rides, and then even some things like skill building, like how to do mechanic work and women-only events and stuff like that. So it's a really neat organization. They host race and events throughout the year, and they're becoming a powerful economic driver in Kentucky. But now that you know a little bit about who we are, I want to talk a little bit about why a community like yours should embrace mountain biking as an activity for your citizens. Mountain biking is one of the fastest growing sports in our country, with bike sales that far outpaced supply over the past few years. Trails around the country have shown record usage, and club memberships have grown rapidly since the pandemic. People wanted to get outside. More people than ever are buying bikes and looking for places to ride them. That's where we need more of. So what could that mean for Boyle County? So studies have shown that mountain bikers, as a general population, often enjoy discretionary income. And when we come to a town, we like to spend our money locally. Areas like Western North Carolina, Bentonville, Arkansas, and Knoxville, Tennessee have proven that when southern towns invest in outdoor recreation generally, and in mountain biking specifically, they reap substantial rewards. Even in our area, The investments are starting to pay off for the local communities. As I mentioned earlier, Berea, Kentucky funded and opened the Silver Creek Bike Park in September of 2021. It features 3.5 miles of professionally built flow trails, an asphalt pump track, and a jump line on about 45 acres of land. Still have a little bit of room to grow, but it took up most of that property. When it opened, they commissioned an impact study through Berea College, and they showed that in the very first year it was open, 4,000 people came to that bike park. That's a town of 15,000 people. According to the study, 67% of trail users then went to go eat at Berea restaurants or go visit a Berea store, spend their money there. And on average, they spent $35 a head. If you do quick math, the $110,000 investment they made in that bike park has already been paid forward very easily. Another example, it's a little more anecdotal, is the Sugar Camp Mountain Trails in Prestonsburg, Kentucky. They were built on the Jenny Wiley State Park property and were soon embraced by the community there. And if you go to that town now, you will be greeted in the parking lot if you have a bike rack on your back, and people will thank you for coming to town. The community there, the mayor drives what we call a shuttle rig. He'll bring a city dump truck to the bottom of the trails, put your bike over the back, and drive you to the top. And as a result, they've seen a substantial increase in beds and heads tax revenue, and just more people coming to Prestonsburg than ever before. Both of those communities have expressed interest in talking with anybody that we are working with too, to provide more information, more guidance on how this has worked for them. But I also really want to talk about the figures we found out from the Kentucky Interscholastic Cycling League. Last year, they conducted an economic survey through Midway University to look at the first 2 seasons of their sport. They've only been around for 2 seasons, this will be their 3rd, and see what impact it had on the communities they visited. They had 5 races a year. They sent out a survey to the participants and the families who attended the races, and they asked them how they spent their money when they came to town and how much they spent. In 2021, the inaugural season, they found that the average race was attended by 270 to 350 people. Each of those spent about an average of $310 per family. So when they looked at the total race season as a whole, there was an estimated taxable revenue of $175,150 for the very first season of racing. That gets even more impressive in their 2nd season. In 2022, those numbers dramatically increased. Average race attendance climbed to 450 to 650 people per event. Those who traveled to the event spent an average of $422 per family. And the total series of taxable revenue was estimated at $305,000 for 5 youth mountain bike races. Well-built mountain bike trails can bring people and money to your community, and people who want to spend their money in your community. But the benefits extend beyond the budget. The trails can help improve the physical and mental health of your citizens while building a really strong sense of community. I'm sure you're aware, Kentucky has a huge obesity epidemic. We have the 2nd highest adult obesity rate in the nation and the highest obesity rate for children between the ages of 10 and 17. 72.3% of Kentucky adults are obese or overweight, and 36% of high school students are as well. We need to find ways to fix that. Kentucky needs access to healthy activities, and multi-use or mountain bike specific trail systems and amenities are frequently cited for their public health benefits to their communities. The most telling statistic I found is that the American Heart Association estimated in 2011 that for every $1 invested in trails, your community saves $3 in medical expenses. The American Journal of Public Health noted that those living less than a mile from public trails average 45 minutes more activities than somebody who lives further away than that. And that goes to about 3 miles is where that benefit is felt. The presence of trails helps highlight one of the primary benefits of mountain biking and most acro recreation. It's a lifelong activity. When I go to an event that we host, we have kids on Strider bikes who are 2 years old zipping around. And I have seen octogenarians on mountain bikes riding between trees. It is something you can do for your entire life. It's not just the Red Bull Rampage guys who are in full face helmets jumping off cliffs. As cool as that is, that doesn't represent most mountain bikers. You can do this by yourself. I plan on taking a ride this afternoon by myself, but I might go take my wife as well. You can go with your friends, you can go with your family. I have friends who take their entire family out. They have a date night once a week where all 4 of them go. It is a really neat way to build a community. Over the past few years, we've focused hard on community building catalysts, like what we call our Franks and Burns social rides. It's a very simple event, should not be that hard, but we gather at one of the local parks in Lexington. We go out on guided group rides, about 15 people apiece, And when we're done, everybody chips in $5 and we have hot dogs. And the $5 goes to gas. The local bike shop sponsor our hot dogs. And it's just a way for us to gather together, put faces to people, not to be nameless people on Facebook and things like that, and help people learn how to enjoy the sport and have an easy way to get involved with it. When we started that, we had 15 people showing up about 2 years ago. Last year, we averaged 110 at these events. People come out, they have a good time. It eliminates a barrier of entry to a sport that's a little intimidating to a lot of people. So that's what we like to do. More people on bikes, more people enjoying pit nature, and more people participating in healthy activities. Admittedly, I have not been out to the property that you are speaking about today, the 300 Alum Springs. I think I got the address right?
Yes.
I haven't had the pleasure of visiting yet, but I plan to. But I do know that there are a great many ways to design a mountain bike trail that will both fit the terrain, will fit the needs of a community, and will make it help foster a sense of community in your hometown. Magistrate Bodner shared with me that this particular piece of property was once a landfill, is my understanding. Outdoor recreation is a phenomenal way to add value to a property that's had its own headaches and difficulties in being developed. Silver Creek Bike Park, like I said, I'm going to talk about it a lot today. It was built on the most rugged track in an industrial park. It was the one that was too steep, too rocky to go do anything for a business. It's perfect for us. So we built the park there. Now we host our annual mountain bike skills clinics. Those are going to be in June this year. We have a 2-day clinic we host. We've had birthday parties out there. We've had family reunions out there. We've had group rides. We've had events that the city's hosted. It has become a community focal point in Berea. Many other trails are also built on reclaimed mining land or things like that, because it's something it's a use that's low impact and can make use of land that nobody else really has a good idea for or is encumbered in some way. But one project stood out for me very strongly. It's the Premier Health Atrium Medical Center Bike Park. Sorry for the mouthful, but it's what they went. It's in Lebanon, Ohio. This was a park that was carefully built on a former landfill site. I had the pleasure of talking with these folks a couple weeks ago at a regional event. Interestingly enough, it was the week you called me about this, and I bumped into these folks. They had a former landfill site that had been sealed with a clay cap, so there were very strong limitations on who could develop what over there and who could dig. So they had to get creative, and they brought in a Kentucky trail builder, Innovative Trail Solutions, and the company and the city worked together to design a 2-phase project. As a result, they had 2 paved pump tracks, a skills center, jump lines, a cyclocross course, and about 5 miles of single track that was built in phase 2. They've created a regional attraction. Our riders from here drive up there to go ride it. And it's been very busy on the weekends and bringing in riders from all over and strong investment from the community. This is the project that I think would be a fantastic model to follow for a property like yours, both from a design and a fundraising standpoint. It was funded by grants, public support, park funds, and then they got surrounding corporate buy-in as well. And that's why it's got the long mouthful of a name. Again, representatives from the bike park have been very interested in providing guidance or support and are willing to work with us and kind of help talk through anything like that if this is the direction you'd like to go. I am very excited to be here today. You can probably tell. I get really excited about talking about mountain bike trails. And I appreciate your willingness to consider new outdoor recreation opportunities in the community. I believe you have a fantastic opportunity here, and I want to offer KYMBA Bluegrass's support. We're happy to guide. We're happy to advise. We're not the best trail builders. We don't want to build the project for you, but we do offer maintenance and support after the fact. So we would like to help you come up with something really neat for this property, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have about it.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
That's a lot of information there, yeah.
We're just introducing the idea, and Bluegrass ad was going to come, but they're just going to watch today,
Okay.
and then we 3 are going to meet in Lexington
Okay.
to talk about trying to get some funds to start the project. We're not exactly sure how many acres, but it looks like the 2 deeds show about 80 acres. So there's a lot of room out there to do something with it. You can't do anything with it since it's been an old landfill. So this is a really great repurposing of some valuable land that could make Boyle County some money, and more importantly, the health of people in Boyle County.
Who owns the land now?
The city owns half in Boyle County, so it's a joint. So I've spoken with some of the city, people, so you talked with Josh.
I did. I spoke with the city engineer yesterday. I've had the Danville Area Trails Association reached out to me this morning. We've not been able to connect yet, but I'm getting familiar with what your county is about, and admittedly, I've got to learn. But
What length of trail do most bikers like? A mile, 2 mile trail? What?
So
What's the most common?
It's kind of that's a bit of a tricky question to answer, and I'll explain why.
Okay.
If you want to just have single track trail, which is, about this wide through the woods, about a 6-foot corridor, you probably need to get people in your community happy. 4 or 5 miles would do really well.
Okay.
If you want to bring people in, you're going to need a little bit more. Or you need to offer something else. And what I talked about there a lot is called a pump track. And I think every community in the country should have one of these. It is just a paved, flowing set of rollers and bank turns. And you're designed not to pedal on it. You're supposed to pump your bike up and down. It is exhausting. It is the best workout I can find on a bike. It is also a lot of fun. And you can do anything on wheels out there. Ride your bike, ride your skateboard, ride your rollerblades. I think they should be at every park, just like a basketball court is. There's a lot of kids who are missing out on amenities at our parks because they only have baseball fields and soccer fields and playgrounds and basketball courts. But they like to do something on their own, and they don't necessarily have the folks around them to go do that. So I think a pump track is an exceptional idea to put in every community.
Judge, I have several questions, and,
Sure.
and I want to preface this by saying I think it's exciting. I think it needs to happen, but I'm from an insurance and healthcare background.
Absolutely.
First question I have is about liability for anyone participating.
Certainly. The
Just as liable as somebody getting hurt on the basketball court.
That's exactly right. Kentucky has the recreational liability statute. It's KRS 411. I believe it's 135, but don't quote me on those last 3 numbers. It's KRS 411 is a chapter though. And it states that if you offer land for the public use without charging a fee, and you are not liable for their injuries on there if they come out there in the act of recreation. So what does that mean exactly?
Means you can still get sued.
You can still get sued, but you should be okay.
Right.
I'm a real estate lawyer by training. This is not legal advice. I feel like I should put that on there.
You're on tape.
But the reason we're able to build things like this is because of that statute. It provides protection. We put appropriate signage up as well that you're waiving or you're acknowledging the risk inherent in mountain biking.
Do you keep data on out-of-state people coming in?
We don't have it yet, but we're getting better about that. So just last month, I went out to the Skullbuster Trail in Georgetown. That's about... So,
See, back to my liability question.
okay, a quick side note, I'm sorry to take your time, but the reason is that it's not because people crash their bikes there. There was an old church there with a load door, and it was called the Skullbuster Church. So you hit your head on the door as you walked in, so the trails were named after
Okay, that's better.
Well, you mentioned the term jump line. What is that? Is that pumping?
So it's similar to a pumping thing, but literally there will be a starting point, and there will be a series of several jumps in a row. And you can run and jump your bike over them, and they can be as little as beginners to, like you said, the Red Bull Rampage style stuff. But that's not what most communities do.
Oh, yeah.
I believe the pump track is what they tried to start over at Millennium, if I remember correctly, and it was too close to Argyle and got shut down.
Yeah.
One of the most exciting things is we argue with Mercer, but we are the epicenter of Kentucky, where we are located.
The center, yeah.
And even if we didn't get out-of-state folks coming in, I think it would be exciting for all our communities around us.
Well, I agree, and I think, as I was starting to say, I'm sorry I got distracted by the name Skullbuster, my apologies. When I went out to the trail there, it was a really pretty Saturday in February, and people were itching to get out. And as I pulled in the parking lot, I saw Colorado, Rhode Island, Tennessee, and Indiana in the parking lot, as well as about 10 Kentucky counties. People come in for a good mountain bike trail. And I know from my personal experience, I travel all over the Southeast to go ride my bike almost every weekend. And that's not uncommon for people who really do love the sport. But what's nice about it is you can also just stay at your local trails and go have a really good time and increase your fitness level and meet some neat people and hang out in the parking lot together afterwards. It's a lot of fun.
Or take a good walk.
Or take a great walk.
There you go.
I don't know if you've been to Ernest's bike shop recently, but it's pretty barren there. He gets a bike in, it's gone.
Absolutely.
Here's the interesting thing. Alum Springs has a history. There was 2 hotels in Alum Springs before Junction City was created, and there was a spa, 40 little structures. They had a whistle stop station. James Ball provided the information. I didn't even know this. And they'd stop to drink the alum water. And so I want to put some of those facts around, and they would drink the water, stay at the spa, then get back on the train. And I cannot remember what Junction City was called then. Gorgeburg, that's it, Gorgeburg. So there wasn't a Junction City, so there's history there that we need to preserve. And I thought we could do it by doing this park, putting little pieces of information around the park.
Absolutely.
Environmental information, so it'll be an educational place.
Oh, yeah.
We're just introducing it today.
Sure.
And we're gonna come back with
Yeah.
more later.
Awesome.
Okay?
So we need no action today?
No action
No.
today.
No, I think you should just approve it flat out. No.
That would be best, yes.
But like she's saying, as far as honoring the history, earlier this month we had a race at Fort Duffield in Louisville, just south of Louisville, West Point, Kentucky. And you climb the road to the top of the hill there, and you drive the trails down. At the top, there is a Civil War site there. There's one of the large embankments, and it's all, no bike signs around that, but there's all the information cards, and you can read about it, and people took their time and saw everything. So it's a really neat way to honor an area while bringing more people who wouldn't go there normally.
Cool.
Thank you, John.
Thank
you
for
all very
all the
much.
information, and we're excited to see.
I'm members of bicycling family.
Oh,
I'm not a
wonderful.
mountain biker, I'm a
Yes.
flatlander, but I
He has
have,
one of those bikes with the big
Yeah,
tire.
he does the jumps.
I have a hybrid, but
Oh, sure.
the rails to trails, my kind of speed.
Absolutely.
But I have grandkids that are mountain bikers, and I'm so really excited about this opportunity.
Yes.
We were very excited to talk to you about it, and I have some business cards I'm happy to pass around. If you all have any questions, you're welcome to direct them to me. I'm also a coach, if anybody wants to give that a shot, we can talk about that too.
Thank you, John.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate
I'll
it.
contact you later about
That'll be good.
Yeah, we're excited to see what happens down the road.
Yes.
Pass those around if anybody likes. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Have a
Appreciate
great
it. Have
day,
a great
thank you.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, next on our agenda is we have some proclamations that we would like to do. And the first one is the Earth Day Proclamation. And Miss Angie, do you want to
Thank you,
accept
John.
this? Or
Well, I have Preston Miles here
Oh,
also, so.
okay, well, bring
I think
everybody.
Preston and Alexis.
Alexis, yes, Alexis.
It's hosted at my place, so.
Yeah, all right. So I will read the proclamation, and if you all would like to say anything, that'll be just fine. Proclamation for Earth Day 2023. Whereas pollution and environmental degradation, thank you, of all forms has major negative impacts on the economic and social well-being of all persons and communities, and whereas we recognize the environmental, aesthetic, and economic benefits of trees and forests along the riparian zones of waterways and in urban areas, and whereas Clark's Run, Hanging Fork, and Dix River watersheds influence the integrity of water in Harrington Lake, and ultimately the quality of municipal water supplies in our area. And whereas water is vital to all forms of life, safe drinking water is essential to human life, and water plays an important role in world and national economies. And whereas local citizens have organized a Danville-Boyle County Earth Day Festival on Saturday, April 22nd at the UK Extension Office Pavilion, and now therefore be it resolved that the Boyle County Fiscal Court hereby encourages its residents, businesses, and institutions to participate on Saturday, April 22nd in celebration of Earth Day. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand this 28th day of March in the year of our Lord 2023. Signed by me. All right, so you come out and walk.
You spell that M-E?
Me,
So I'll take
You
a,
and Alexis have done more work than anybody.
I'll take a little privilege here.
Yeah.
That earth with the sunflower, my daughter drew that.
Are you
So I actually just sent it to her.
Awesome.
My daughter Annika
Oh,
drew that and
That's
won the
fantastic.
contest, and she just had a baby 2 days ago, and so now I'm a proud grandfather.
I was gonna announce that you stole my thunder.
Yeah. So anyway, but no, I just sent that to her. I said, another year for them.
It's a legacy.
Yeah.
We had stickers made with that flower, so
Oh,
come get
yes.
them.
I would love one.
Yes.
So we have a copy, let me squeeze in here. Okay, we have a copy of the proclamation for you all.
All right, we're gonna do one this way and do one. You're supposed to cheese it.
You're supposed to cheese it, cheese it.
Do you have more of those posters?
And
to
I would,
Alexis?
and I would add, Magistrate Butler, as you know, Clark's Run rises at Alum Springs, and the idea of making the connection between the quality of water there and that community coming out of that watershed, and ultimately supplying Harrington Lake and our municipal and rural water supplies would be a wonderful story to tell.
right.
Preston, you all stand right there. We got another proclamation, Arbor Day.
I like
It is your day.
All right, proclamation for Arbor Day, whereas the Commonwealth is blessed with diverse forests that extend from the hardwood forests of the east to the cypress swamps of the west, and whereas trees are a sustainable resource providing significant environmental, economic, social, and human health benefits to Kentuckians, and whereas 1/3 of Kentuckians live in a community actively managing their urban forests, spending a total of $7 million on this asset. And whereas Kentucky's forest products are a $13.5 billion green industry employing over 60,000 people. And whereas trees enhance our air quality, purify our water resources, protect our soil, supply a source of renewable energy, and provide valuable wildlife habitat. And whereas forests improve our health by offering a place of recreation and solace. And whereas trees and healthy forests enhance the quality of life for all Kentuckians. Now therefore, I, Trilly Bottom, Boyle County Judge Executive, hereby proclaim April 7th, which is a little past, 2023 as Arbor Day in the state of Kentucky. I urge all citizens across this great Commonwealth to participate in the observance of this day by planting a tree. Our reward and that of future generations will be a more beautiful Kentucky whose health and well-being are sustained by this great natural resource, our forests. And thank you for bringing this ahead of time so that we would have it for today, even though Arbor Day is in the past. Thank you.
Thank you for
Jason, we do have more posters.
county attorney as well as solid waste. I have exhibits at our Earth Day event.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a great event. There's a lot of people that
Oh, yeah.
were there last
Yeah.
year, so we're going to be there again.
Yeah, we saw about 300 people last year,
Yeah,
so
it
we've
was
got
a
about
big
40
crowd.
vendors, food, music, so we're excited to do that.
Everybody put it on their Facebook.
Yeah,
Share.
absolutely. Please do. Please do.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Do I owe Annika a royalty?
Not at all.
Thank you all. Have a good day.
Thank you.
All right, and next we have some guests here from KSD. And can you sing KSD in,
KSD.
please?
So we've got one, yeah.
All right. We have some students and I think assistant principal and a teacher. So if someone would like to introduce who you have with you.
Hello, I'm Billy Gully Jr. I'm the SLPR coordinator at KSD, which looks at American Sign Language at KSD, but also statewide.
All right.
My turn? My name is Allison, and this is my sign name. I'm a student at KSD. I've been there my whole life since I was 3, and now I'm 16, and I'm in the 10th grade.
All right.
I'm Skylar. Well, this is my sign name first, and I'm a student at KSD. Hello, my name is Phoenicia, and I'm the assistant principal at KSD.
All right. Well, welcome to you all. And several of our magistrates attended the 200th celebration last night at Jacobs Hall. It was very nice. We got to see a lot of the history of KSD. Some of us had never been in that building before, so it was really a treat to be able to come in there and see when KSD started and then how far it's come today. So thank you all for what you do for the students and continue educating them as they come in to the school. I'm going to read a proclamation for the 200th anniversary of Kentucky School for the Deaf. Whereas the Kentucky School for the Deaf, KSD, is proud to have played a vital part in the education of elementary to high school age deaf and hard of hearing students since its founding in 1823. And whereas KSD was the first deaf school established west of the Allegheny Mountains. And whereas KSD, which opened its doors on April 10, 1823, is the 4th oldest school for the deaf in the United States and is the first state-supported school in the United States for the instruction of deaf children. And whereas April is recognized as Deaf History Month, a unique opportunity to highlight the importance of inclusivity, and equal accessibility for those who are deaf, hard of hearing, or experiencing hearing loss within our local communities. And whereas 2023 commemorates the 200th anniversary of this highly valued institution. Now therefore be it resolved that the Boyle County Fiscal Court do hereby celebrate this historic milestone and do acknowledge the Kentucky School for the Deaf as a highly valued institution in Boyle County. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand this 28th day of March in the year of our Lord 2023, and it's dated today, the 11th day of April 2023. So we are excited to celebrate with you all in this 200th anniversary of KSD being in our community, and I am going to give you all a copy of a proclamation and get a photo if that's okay.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Rhonda Bodner is my cousin, my husband's cousin, but my cousin too. And she's been there all her life. So we just love that, you know, we got to see it. I've never been in the building.
I would say that Jacobs Hall is, I really think arguably one of the most beautiful buildings in Danville.
I agree.
And I'm so glad that it is being cared for and serving our community like it is. It is a spectacular building, and I would encourage everyone to go see it at some point in time.
Last night was my first visit, a little bit to the second floor in the past, but to the third floor never before. And there is such a treasure trove of history there, and all the photographs and all the artifacts that you have. I didn't realize until I was on the third floor and I saw a sign, "No pictures, please." I had to eliminate those from my phone because I was going to do a Facebook rendition of everything that's there. But you all need to have 200 or 300 page just pictures and explanation.
Yes.
A book needs to come out. If you can do it in the 200th year, wonderful, but sometime thereafter, it would just be an extraordinary treasure. I would certainly buy one and give it to friends.
A historical pictorial book.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. Yeah. And they had a bicycle. You know, a thing about bicycles, and I thought, oh, how, you know, we just talked about bicycle.
They have a driver's ed thing on the third floor.
Simulator.
Yeah, great honest.
Well, you all know that Simon spent the first couple years of his education at KSD, and he loves it. Simon misses it very much, but yeah. So each year he gets to go back for something during the summer for some sort of camp, and he just loves getting with. He always calls it different.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, if we can just get in a little group here, we'll.
I do want to add that I am so very proud of my son who's working at the school. Yeah, this is my mom. Yeah, she was a teacher there at KSD. She taught there for 32 years, so yeah.
Thank you.
Whenever I was at the school, he's a big boy now.
I'll send it to
I didn't even recognize him.
Thank you, we appreciate you being here.
Tell him hello from me. Okay? He won't remember me, but please tell him hello. He won't.
No, he does. He does. He does remember you.
Yeah, we really miss you at the hub.
How are you? Good to see you.
Probably so. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
How
I gotta keep up with it.
All right, next on our agenda is Animal Control Week Proclamation, and we have our Animal Control Director and officers with us this morning. Welcome to everybody. Thank you all for coming in. I know you had to wait a little bit, so sorry for the wait, but we want to recognize you all as part of National Animal Control Week, so I'm going to read a proclamation, and then we have a certificate for each one of you. Whereas the National Animal Care and Control Association has designated April the 9th through 15th, 2023 as Animal Control Appreciation Week. And whereas various federal, state, and local government officials throughout the country take this time to recognize, thank, and commend all animal control officers for the dedicated service they provide to the citizens, public safety, domestic animals, livestock, and wildlife across the nation. And whereas every day animal control officers put themselves in potentially dangerous situations to protect the health and welfare of all kinds of animals and the public. And whereas Boyle County Fiscal Court recognizes and commends the work done by the officers of animal control on a daily basis to the citizens of our community, and specifically recognize the following employees for their hard work. Animal Control Officers Elias Delbridge and Jessica Johnson, and Shelter Director Christina Lombardo. And whereas Boyle County Fiscal Court recognizes the animal control officers who answer calls for assistance, capturing roaming and potentially dangerous animals, rescue animals in distress, investigate reports of animal cruelty and neglect, provide education for pet guardians about responsible pet care, and mediate disputes between neighbors regarding conflicts involving animals. Now therefore be it resolved that as the Judge Executive, I do hereby recognize and declare the week of April the 9th through the 15th, 2023 as Animal Control Appreciation Week in Boyle County, and encourage all citizens to join us in expressing their sincere appreciation for the service of these officers. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hands this 28th day of March in the year of our Lord 2023, dated April the 11th, 2023. And we have each of you a certificate of appreciation.
Johnson's not my last name.
Oh, pardon?
That's not my last name.
Oh, what is your last name?
Joseph.
Oh. Oh, well, we will correct that. My apologies.
As long as it's right on my paychecks, I'm good.
That's part, isn't it? All right. Well, that's all right. We'll correct it. I'll fix it for you. No problem.
It's not the first time.
All right, so each certificate, let's see, this one this way, and that's not blocking it off too bad, is it? Okay. All right, so we have certificates for each one of you all, and each one says, thank you for your personal risk to go out into the public and to protect the welfare of helpless animals and pets that are rescued from injury, disease, abuse, and starvation. So Christina, if you'll come forward, we'll start with you. All right. Glasses off. There we go. Got it? All right. And that's yours. Thank you. Elias? Got it. All right. And Jessica, not Johnson? That's all good.
Well, your face didn't change a bit.
And we have a little treat for you this morning because we recognize all the hard work that you all do on a daily basis, from being there, cleaning the kennels, to taking calls, to going out in the public, and just making sure that all of our animals in our community are safe, and that the people are safe also. So we appreciate each and everything that you all do, and we just want you, this is a small token of our appreciation, but we just want to give each one of you, it's got chocolate in it. So I'll share you later on. But thank you all very much. You all be safe out there.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you all so much.
All right, next we have some employee milestone anniversaries, and if Wilma Taylor and Dan Terry will come forward.
You got more pictures? Oh,
Sorry, Steve.
Yeah, more pictures.
Can we buy a smaller?
I'm getting my steps in today. Okay, we want to recognize Wilma Taylor and Dan Terry. Both had 10 years of service beginning in Day, no,
Yeah.
just kidding.
How long we
With
have?
Helping Hands, and you can introduce who you have with you, Bruce.
Well, I have Ms. Joan Huffman with me.
Hi, everybody.
She is our coordinator, I guess we'll say, of Mercer County. We're the Boyle, Mercer County Helping Hands. You should have some materials there in front of you that she's distributed. We're not going to read all the figures and go over all that, because we've been with you all since September of 2011. That's a long time. Fact is, I was kind of taking a head count here. I think we are the oldest members of the fiscal court that's been here since that period of time. Judge Kenny, Howard Hunt, and Trilly, and all the commissioners or magistrates have changed. That's a good thing. The way we look at it, change is a good thing in various roles we all serve. But I do want to thank you all for your support since September of 2011. In your packet, I guess Ms. Wagner may have distributed some of the information I sent prior to. There was a listing of some of our other board members. Phil Salmons is still a board member and has contributed to us greatly over the years. And I've actually seen him do some fiscal work.
No. I hope you had pictures of that.
I do have pictures of that. And speaking of pictures, one of the projects we've done, we saw him turn a shovel years ago, so it was of interest. But anyway, this top.
Tell them there's a pot of gold on there.
This little 8.5 by 11 summary of all of our progress reports. Basically, that's how we account for what we do in Boyle and Mercer County. And Joan is a Mercer County resident, pretty well handles all the needs that we have up there as far as requests. And if you can think of something that a person needs, we've heard it in 12 years' time. But on a daily basis, we still get different inquiries that we haven't heard. There's always something new. And we won't touch on some of the focal points that need to be addressed, but I get the transients, the homeless, the folks that are needing overnight stays, the hungry, the folks that their house burnt down, that Red Cross didn't finish up what they needed to do, as we do. And in summary, how, I'm not done yet, but how we got started was when the Red Cross pulled out of Boyle County. I don't know if y'all know that, but in 2011 we took up a collection of then Red Cross board members, and we founded our own 501c3 to continue the services for Boyle County that Red Cross was not going to provide. And as a retired banker, we were informed by Red Cross to send all of our Boyle County money to Lexington, and that's where it went. So we started virtually penniless 12 years ago, but we continued those services. The Red Cross told us we could not be first responders. They would not provide any services. They came back, but we forced them to come back to Boyle County. So that's how we got started. So we stuck around and figured, well, there's other needs that we can service. There's people that need help that fall through the cracks, and we'll look at that. So that's basically what we've done. And I'm thankful that we've had that opportunity. I do want to say that this report, I'm going to skip to the bottom line. Last year, we spent a little over $4,400 in our county and city and helped over 428 people. In the course of time, I didn't add up all the numbers, but probably in 12 years' time, we helped at least 6,000 to 8,000 people in our county. And those are people that we would not have helped if we hadn't been around to do it. And when Bernie was mayor, personal friend of mine then, and plus it's already gone now, we've seen a lot of increase in veterans that are doing assistance, and a lot of that cost of funds being materials to build ramps for veterans that need help. And if you've been to Lowe's lately and know what the prices of those materials are, they've escalated 50%. And we partner with all the local agencies and churches. One church in particular, the Centenary United Methodist Church, they have a little group called the Volunteer and Mission Team. And they're a great team. One of the members lives next door to me, Joe Simpson, known him 30 some odd years.
He's a youngster.
Yeah, he is. He's up earlier than I am every day, I'll say that. But they will build ramps wherever they need to be built. And we as helping hands provide the materials, the cost, of the materials. Our liability policy prohibits us from holding a hammer or striking a nail, since Tommy McGurr got hurt years ago on a project, so we swore off that and we contracted them to do it. And consequently, we built maybe 12 to 15 ramps around the county and the city in the last couple of years. Built one on your street next door to you last summer. Albert Taylor, the 95-year-old veteran, that he needed some help. The EIM built it and we paid for it. And you came in by the time we finished. We tried to get you over there and you wouldn't come.
He came in to ask if he could help any.
Those are just things that...
Timing's everything.
It is, but people that need help, they call us, and we try to send them wherever they can to get the funding first, and we pick up what's left over at the end to kind of mop up to conserve our funds. But I think we've done a good job, and I'm proud to be part of this team. I missed one meeting probably 5 years ago, and I got appointed chairman and president. And all March decided to retire. But anyway, 100% of our funds are spent on the needs. We don't have any overhead or administrative costs or supplies or anything. We do have an office space in the new Mission Worship Center there on Broadway, the old Presbyterian church, and Nancy Davis owns the building, but it's rented to a local church, and they allow us to meet there once a month inside, cost-free. That's the best you can do. Then the church gives us a 2% override monthly on their giving that they receive, and helps to fund us. And we get some other contributions from other churches. But the $4,000 that we're asking you all for, you gave us $2,000 last year. And that's about what we've spent year to date. This doesn't show it because it's broke down in kind of a 6-month interval. But the cost of materials is the thing, and I can find $4,000 worth of ramps around the county to build in the next few months if we really dig into it. And I do appreciate the help. And again, we're not just. I don't really know what else to say. It's kind of fun to be of service to people and find a way to do it and be productive at the same time. And I think Joan feels the same way. I really appreciate everything we do. So.
Bruce, according to your report, it looks like that the city and county are matching funds. Is that right?
They have. Okay. Last year we received $1,400 from the city. You all gave us $2,000. Okay. That's for the same increase to the county. There's one little variable there. I'll talk about it a little bit. This EFSP grant, that is the Emergency Food and Shelter Program that's administered through United Way. Okay. And it's a food grant. And what we've discovered with the pandemic and all that is that people are hungry, and it doesn't matter where they are and what's going on. We found a way to apply to them, and that $2,000 is a minimum. We'll probably get closer to $8,000 or $10,000 out of them this year. I received about 6 last year and maybe 4,000 the year before. So what we would do, we would broker some food through the food bank. When they were out of food, we'd take them Krogering. Now it's fun to go Krogering, about $4,000 once and load up all that food and carry it to the food bank. I tell you, it's just a way to give back to the county. So that's what I know I've got now. This is April. I've got a couple more grants coming, so I think it'll go up some more.
How many of those ramps did you build outside of the city, Danville?
We built a couple in the county, maybe. I can't really remember where. Some down in Junction City, down near off of Airport Road in Junction City. Just where you cross the Lincoln line, there's a little street down there. Built one down there. Of course, we built most of them in the city, but like your district right there for Albert Taylor, that's city property, but here you are, you're a magistrate, so that's your district. It's right next door to you. So I can pinpoint them all if you don't know, but that's about.
No, I was just curious because we tend to the county tends to fund a lot of these programs higher than the city, but a majority of the projects happen in the city.
They probably do.
So, and I understand, but so we're trying to get a grasp of.
I can't really tell you how many outside in the county. There's been a few.
Majority of those in the city. Yes. That's what kind of what we're seeing is that.
Bruce, I remember the very first meeting that you all came to. So I was serving as fiscal court clerk.
You're sitting over there.
Yeah, sitting there. We're Julie.
Yeah, that's true.
But you all have done a tremendous amount of work in all these years since, and Are you all still taking donations?
We take donations,
Okay.
P.O. Box 1705, and that little flyer I gave you, it's on there, I'm pretty sure.
Now, what about items, though? Donated items?
When we get items, and if we know when they're coming and what they are, we try to return them. If we accept them, we
Because you don't have a
send
storage
them.
facility to hold
Don't
them
have a
in.
storage
Okay.
facility, no. But the last item, Tommy McGurr and I, we loaded refrigerators and stoves one day, carried them to somebody the same day. I've had some eye surgery, and my surgeon says now to limit 10 pounds, it's kind of hard to do once you live. But maybe I'll get released today, I'll find out.
Okay. So any of these numbers, someone can contact and get a hold of somebody
Yes,
to
ma'am.
donate.
My number is the 319-7014, top
Top
one.
number.
Joan, yours is on there too, I know.
Mine is 613-3700, or 3770.
Okay.
We got some donations the other day. There's a hat in my pocket from Brightly. Everybody said, why are you telling me that? Well, I think it's of interest. Brightly, Joan engineered a donation from Brightly, 20 beds and 20 microwaves. They were changing out the furnishings in the facility.
That's nice.
Well, we could not use them at the time, so we engineered a deal with the Turnersville Mission over in Lincoln County. If y'all are familiar with them.
I'm familiar with them.
Miss Renee King that runs it.
She's my cousin.
Great. Well, then you know what they do. You know exactly what they do.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, they picked up all those items.
Paul, never mind.
They took the items and sold them for funds, and those funds are used to house the homeless. Now, when we get a homeless person, we send them there, and they will come pick them up.
I'd like to commend Helping Hands. When I was chaplain at Ephraim, we try to help patients who've been discharged. If no other service could help us, I could call Bruce and Helping Hands and find a way to help us.
Oh, that's true.
They've been helping people a long time.
We have, well, and I once hired you as a preacher.
You did. That's right.
And Jamie taught one of my sons how to dribble.
There you go.
All right.
Dazzling dribble.
Dazzling dribblers.
We've been around a long time.
Anybody
Now he
else?
just dribbles down on the shirt.
I know. Different version of dazzling dribbler now.
But I want to thank you all again for your
Thank you.
support. I think you live in
Thank
a
you,
great
Tom.
county, and we appreciate every opportunity we can to be of service.
And we'll certainly take this in consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I
Appreciate
admire
it.
the fact you said 100% of the money goes to help. That's awesome.
No,
That's
there's
really
no
awesome.
expense. We furnish all of our own travel time, gas, whatever. Never had an expense.
That's such a true,
Works good.
awesome. It's mission.
Thank you all for being here.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I think we're gonna get covered with that. Y'all have a good day, and I
Thank you.
enjoyed
All
the
right,
meeting.
thank you. Thank you.
Nice to see you.
You too. While they're going out and the other ones are coming in, I want to recognize Rick Series here from the City Commission
Yeah.
and Sheriff Bottom for being in the room today. Thank you very much. Anybody that wants to come in, it can
Tell
come
them
in.
to come on in.
We
Come
have
on in.
plenty of seats.
You say that plenty of room.
Anybody that wants to come in, come in. We
It's
have
getting rowdy out there, probably.
plenty of seats. Come right in. Anybody out there, come right in.
Send them all in.
Coming up here in a second.
Small room.
Yeah, you sit next to Dr. Crowe.
Sorry, Roger, room's full now.
That's all right.
There's some chairs over there.
I'm all good.
All right, come in, round two.
I'm sitting the floor, do whatever we need to do.
All right, next on the agenda is Bluegrass Community and Technical College, also known as BCTC, and I'm not sure who is going to speak today.
I got the honor of that.
You got the honor
I get
of
to start.
speaking. Okay, so if you want to introduce yourself, and if you want to introduce who's with you, that's fine, and just tell us what we need to know.
You bet. So thanks for having us. I'm James Neyhouse. I'm the director at the campus, Danville campus of BCTC. So we're here to just kind of talk to you about some dual credit, some things that are going on at BCT that we're real excited for. So Dr. Capo here is president of BCTC. We have Dr. Tipton here is in charge of our workforce development, and our provost, Dr. Feeney, behind me. So we're just thrilled to be here and to talk to you about dual credit. I think we have a PowerPoint. Yeah, excellent.
Awesome. Thank you, Bill.
Yeah, I don't know where Bill. Where is Bill?
He's up there.
He's the man behind the curtain.
emphasis, and that's a great goal, but just, are we partnered in any way, this is kind of for Steve Griffin behind you, our HR person as well, as far as being a kind of a county benefit to provide some educational support for our employees to work on coursework at BCTC?
That's a great question. Dr. Tibbin's been working on this with our Workforce Solutions, which is really what that's about, and I'll let her speak to that real quick.
Sure, absolutely. So I think there's an opportunity. We are actually right now working with the city on their workforce needs, particularly inside their immediate workforce. So there is definitely an opportunity for us to think about ways that the college can support the infrastructure, the training that's needed for county government, and would love to have those conversations. Now would be a really good time, so we could look at maybe a potential partnership between the city and the county.
Yeah, because we have lots of needs in that area, but obviously you alluded to the EMT and hopefully the paramedic course, which is coming, because that's a tremendous need in a lot of areas in the state, but in our own case as well. But so
that partnership has been wonderful, and James has been front and center with establishing the EMT classes in the evening, and just the support that we've received from the county has been wonderful, and we look forward to expanding and bringing that paramedic program to the campus here locally.
And we have, following you all, we have Shepherd's House here as well.
Yes.
And so that was my next question, is hopefully there's lots of ways, and if you aren't already, that we can partner with Shepherd's House and bring educational opportunities to.
So yeah, I've been meeting with Shepherd's House and Isaiah House, actually both of them, and we are working with some of their clients to create programs for them. He said, actually, we're going to be going out to Shepherd's House here very shortly. He said he has 6 clients that we're going to try and register and get into classes. So all of those are things we're doing, and we're always happy to do more of that and to help out any way we can. The EMT program, speaking of dual credit, since this is the main push here, is that there was 15 that signed up for our very first EMT class. We got the advertisement out with about 3 weeks before the class started, because we were making sure we had everything in place, and we only had about 3 weeks to let people know we were having a class. We had 15 sign up for the class. 8 of those were high school students. So that's enormous. These are high school students that were interested in that field and have been coming to the class. It's 5 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. So they've been coming, Mondays and Wednesday evenings outside of their normal schoolwork to get this EMT certification. So clearly there's a strong need and a strong interest in it. But that's a program that could use some that we could help people with on the affordability side. So those are great questions and exactly what we're trying to do.
How does your BCTC cost per credit hour compare to the big universities around Kentucky?
So our cost right now is 182. Yeah, 182 per credit hour. I don't know what UK's is. Several.
It's all over the place, from $500 to $1,000.
Yeah. The nice thing about dual credit students, though, is they already get 50% off their tuition. So they're only paying $91 a credit hour to take classes from us if they're a dual credit student. So so there's already a 50% discount as a dual credit student.
And have you been tracking data on the number of students who graduate from your accredited programs and then stay in the workforce here in Boyle County?
I don't have.
Do we have?
We can't get that.
That's a good thing we could be tracking. So
because we want to keep.
Yeah, we do, and that's a big part of this. Is if we start them here, they're more likely to stay here and work and stay within our workforce. And we all know we have plenty of opportunities for them here within Boyle County and in the surrounding area. We have an influx, daytime influx of employees. So we know there's plenty of opportunities here for them, and that's a big part of what we're trying to do is make that happen.
2 questions. Aviation, are you guys working on with partnership with the Somerset campus?
So I've been working with Rob
over at the airport,
over at our current airport, and with Earl Coffey at the city, and it's in the early stages, but we have had lots of conversations. We know there's a strong interest in it. Boyle County Danville has high school students that are very interested in it.
Yeah.
I've been putting data together and numbers together on how many students, and it's significant.
Yeah. I know they've only had the STEM program over Boyle County for a little bit, and it's already pretty much full.
Right, yeah,
So-
no, it's definitely on our radar, and we're working through them. The last was, the airport was getting me some more data
Yeah,
information I needed.
The building is going to be built. And for the endowment, between like the workforce ready scholarships, the Keys money, what percentage of your students are not getting that kind of assistance where this endowment is needed? Like, is there programs that are just falling through the cracks that they just don't get that money, or?
So the way those programs work, do you want to step in?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, you know, I mean, Jamie's going to just write us a check, so I'm not too worried about it. So, no, but the way this
small check.
Yeah, I didn't think it was like a check. The programs, a lot of the programs are limited on the number of scholarships they can get. That's you know, so a lot of these students, if they want to take more than a couple classes, that's where it falls through the cracks. So we're starting a program with like Danville High School. To an integrated engineering track, where they do 2 years with us, and they graduate high school with an IET, an integrated engineering technology degree, and then there's an automatic pathway to UK engineering if they want to finish it. They can be done after the 2 years and have their associate's degree and be hired tomorrow, you know, or they can jump to UK and finish a 4-year engineering degree if they want to do that. But those students will need to start as freshmen. In high school in order to finish that path properly. And a lot of the scholarships don't kick in until their junior and senior years of high school. They're limited to the number they can take each semester. So you can take technical programs, actually do start your freshman year, but your math and your science and English, those don't start until your junior year. So it's just, you know, and they only get 2 classes a year. So they're limited in that number of classes they can get covered. Does that answer it well enough?
Yeah, you did. So to just add to what you said, for technical, student only qualify for 8 classes throughout their high school journey. So that's a 24 credit. The engineering program that he mentioned, for you to graduate, you need 68 credit. But if the student is going the general route, it's only 4 classes. Times 3, it's 12 hours. And you need 60 hours to earn your associate.
Got it. Okay.
So that's the gap we're trying to fill.
Yeah, no, that's helpful. That's helpful.
So you want to speak to the endowment about how do you see this coming to fruition?
I'll let Dr. Bell, he has a lot more experience on this.
Well, thank you all for having us. It's always a blessing and an honor to be here with you. Every time we ask to be on the agenda, you have no problem making time for us. So thank you again for all our advanced manufacturing, and without this support, that would not have been possible. So again, from the bottom of my heart, I say thank you to all of you. I was here last year, but then we're back again. And what we're trying to do is, as I said, what we do is about social justice and equity. Some students come from the haves household, and some from the have-not. And what we're trying to do here is to make sure everybody has the same chance. So today, the jobs are in the technical area. Sorry, Dr. Tipton, nothing against you and I. You know, I don't have problem hiring PhDs, none. And they're willing to take 30,000. I'm not proud of it, but that's the reality. But finding a diesel mechanic instructor with 65,000, I can't afford it. Finding a welding instructor with 55,000, I cannot. Or HVAC faculty, I cannot, with 62,000. But PhDs, I don't have problem. So the point I'm making here is the technical areas are where the jobs are. So when you look at our high schools, only 47.78% go on to a 4-year institution or 4- and 2-year institution in the state. Only 47.75%. 5.7% go out of state, they don't come back. And then we have a solid 30% who don't go anywhere. You know what happened to some of these? They find themselves in drug addiction, alcohol, and the jails are getting crowded. So what we're trying to do here is to be proactive. Get to these 30%. Are we gonna save all of them? I doubt it. But if we can save 15%, this county wins. And because these 15%, not everybody is ready for UK, UFL, Moorhead, or even 2-year degree. But we can get them a certificate that will allow them right here in this county and pay taxes. So this scholarship, what it's going to do is to make sure everybody has that chance. Because to your question, Magistrate Ellis, is if we let them go, chances for them to come back is very slim.
Yeah.
But if we keep them, we have a good chance. But we have to keep them with a credential that allows them to get a job. So that's why we're targeting the high schools, making sure these high school students earn their associate degree before the high school diploma and get a job before that. I was talking to my nursing director, and all our nursing graduates all have a job before even graduation. So that's what we're trying to do, but to get to them early on, we have some students who are able to pay the full tuition and earn that credential right there in the high school. But not everyone can afford it. The engineering program he mentioned, we built this with UK, where UK does not even offer the first 2 years. Any student who applies to go to UK will send them to us. And this kid will earn this credential while in high school. That's my goal. So by graduation, they can go to work and make 70, 80, 90,000. Or they can go straight to UK, no question asked. But we can't do it if we don't have the money for everyone. So the $1 million is going to be an endowment that will be there for perpetuity. Even when all of us in this room are gone, it's still going to be there to benefit Boyle County. I started this in Scott County. It was $1 million pledge. We're at $750,000, and George, Pat, and I are getting back on the road to finish the deal by June 30th. So we'll have $1 million for Scott County. The same thing I want to replicate here in Boyle County. We are your college. That's why our name is Community College. So we need help so we can also solve some of the problems we have in our county. I know you have questions.
Yes. Is this, I know that you have to get the $1 million in the bank to start producing the yield, as they said, but is there a way that we can help fund this over time versus all at once?
Yes. What Scott County did, they pledged $250,000. The first year they gave up $125,000. So July this year, they will give us the additional $150,000. So we $125,000. So we can endow it as we go, but the goal is to reach 1 million.
Any other questions? So I think the question is, you want the county to support this endowment, and you want us to start the endowment. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
If I can get $250 from the county, I'll be the happiest person on earth. I love this community. I'll be honest with you. I spent more time here, and that's how Judge Covington helped me get started. And with that seed, Toyota jumped in and gave another $250. And the city said, no, they were not going to be left behind. So they also pledged another $250. So now I have some business folks lined up to finish the deal.
So what is the pleasure of the court concerning this endowment? We're in budget season, so
I know,
it's here at
that's
the
where
right time.
I think it just needs to be taken into the budget process and see where, I personally would like to see us be able to support this in some way. We may have to give it in smaller bites than even Georgetown did. But I think if we can somehow help make our pledge that then would be funded over time, I'm hopeful that we can
So
look
do
at
we
that.
want to start with the $250,000 pledge?
Well, again,
and
I
do it in
don't want to say
increments?
that today. Yeah,
No, I don't want to do anything today.
I don't want to say that today,
I
but
think we have to talk with our treasurer to see where we are financially.
Okay, I'm just, I'm
Yeah.
trying to find out who,
Yeah,
where we're at on the
I think that's, would be the goal,
Okay.
to be able to.
That's the
pledge
number we
that
want to
money.
plug in and see where it goes, and if we have to
And how we
decrease,
can-
back off, we can.
How we can, yeah, how many increments it would take to get there.
Yeah, okay, all right.
And you know, we have everything in this county, like Mr. Neyhouse said earlier. If you look at Lawrenceburg, we only have nursing program. You look at Winchester, we have nursing program. The only two campuses where we have the technical and the allied health are Denver and Georgetown. So we can help students not only in the health field, but also in the engineering field. And again, thanks to all of you in this room, you've made that dream possible. Now we need to use it to benefit the county.
Well, both of my sons benefited from BCTC.
Thank you.
One started there and then transferred to UK, and the other one received 9 welding certifications, and both still work here, so you were able to retain the welder anyway.
And I would say, and I want to speak to that as well, because our son Jordan benefited from BCTC. He started out at Murray State and was struggling to find his way in life, and BCTC became that bridge that he then used to then attend Center College from there, and did very well, and has continued to do well. So it became a very important bridge in his educational life.
What's the city's thought on this endowment? Have you guys approached them, and have they indicated anything?
We did, and we just had a meeting with the
Yeah.
mayor, and they're also excited. And he pledged to me that they will do whatever it takes to make
We
sure
still
this
have our
happens.
city council meeting coming up with them. We've
Okay.
talked with the mayor and a few key personnel. Haven't had the city council meeting yet.
All right, so we'll take no action today, but we will take everything into consideration as we go through with our budget process and see how we can support this. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful way for us to give back to the community.
Thank you. Thanks to all of you.
What's the yearly enrollment at BCTC right now about?
You mean Danville or overall?
Danville.
Currently, we're sitting around 250, but we want that to be in the 400s. That's the ultimate goal.
Was there a drop during COVID?
Yes, there was a pretty big drop during COVID.
That's-
And if they go to online and online only, I don't get to count them as enrollment for our campus. So if they're taking their classes purely online, they have to actually come in the building for me to count them. But there was a significant drop during COVID.
Okay. And one best thing we also have done, which I'm very proud of, is Dr. Tipton used to be the director. And then since she left, we have had some challenge filling that position. We got 2 people, and they did not stay long enough. Now we have found our own leader. So I'm very excited. He's doing a phenomenal job, and he's going to get this.
Comes from a good district, too.
Well, it's all about the
Well, Dr. Capo,
He's had to
Dr.
overcome
Tipton, James, thank you all for attending today. We appreciate you being here.
He doesn't have what we
We'll
call the
get your
center
physical, we'll
table.
get our statistics to you that you've asked for. We'll get that to you.
Thank you all, have a great day.
He was there.
See y'all, thanks.
Next, we have Shepherd's House, and Jared and Blake are here, and Blake's gonna be our spokesperson. All right, welcome.
Yeah, thank you guys for having us. If you don't know my name is Blake Hobson. I work for the Shepherd's House. I'm the programs coordinator here in Boyle County. This is Jared Thomas, our CEO. So just an update, I wanted to share with you guys some numbers I had crunched from the 2022-2023 year. So in 2022, we had served 160 clients. And 90 of those individuals were criminally justice involved. So just to show it really shows the support that we have from, Mr. Heron here and some of the circuit court judges as well. Everybody kind of deserves that chance to have some charges amended, and even if that's not the case at the end of the decision, at least you had some treatment, the option to go to treatment in that time. We had 3 people complete their GED in 2022. And then 3 graduates actually enrolled into higher education. Some of them at Campbellsville, some at BCTC, and we met with James a few months ago as well, and we had some clients kind of sign up, and I think it was about 4 months out from the semester, and it was kind of hard to fill that gap between that 4-month time. So I think we actually only had one person make it in the spring semester. So I have about 6 more that are really excited. So we're going to schedule another meeting for James to come out and present like he did.
One's better than none. We'll take it.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. So 80% of our graduates right now are. In 2020, 80% of our graduates were exiting the program with employment, so some type of employment. I think that 20% was either disability or it's just their circumstances in life at the moment were, they weren't able to work. So, but we really encourage those that are on disability and Social Security to kind of reach their max. They can work that certain number of hours to kind of help them become more financially stable. And we definitely, we have Kentucky Foothills come in and help with budgeting classes and things like that, because that's a huge thing that people on SSI and disability, it's like by day 15 of the month, they're out of money. So we really hope that, the budgeting classes help. And then since opening up our women's program in 2021, we've really realized that we've really started making this impact on this underserved population in Boyle County, which was females. And our program has always been co-ed, but it's just a little different, unique situation. And now that we've had that women's housing program, we've really been able to fill some gaps that weren't really filled before. So our women's house currently is full. We always have a waiting list for our women's house. So we partner with Denise and drug court a little bit, and we can kind of supplement some of our housing for those drug court clients as well. So our current update, so we're sitting at 31 clients right now. 4 have been referred out to residential treatment. 12 clients are employed for full-time, 4 being part-time employment. 3 graduates since January. So I think last time I presented to Joint Jail, there's 2 graduates. We've had another graduate since then of the 6-month program. And then our traditional ILP program, which is 6 to 8 weeks since January, we've had 10 graduates of that program. So our average length of stay, and this includes our 6-month kind of rocket docket deal that we do with the county, and then our 6 to 8 week intensive outpatient program, we're seeing about 78 days to 60 days of people staying within our program. And then GED enrollment, we have 1 active in pursuing their GED right now with Ms. Jackson. So July 22nd, we have our Keeneland Shepherd's House Run for Recovery. It's our annual event. You can sign up on our website, and maybe at the next Joint Jail I can bring some pamphlets and some stickers for you guys to share around the community. So I think, Jared, what do you
Yeah,
share
I'll
something?
I'm quick today. Just give you a check-in on Shepherd's House as a company. We just got our national accreditation. We already got an NAR accreditation for our sober livings, and we're already licensed AODE. We did that so that we check every box now. Kind of gives us treatment, street cred. But anyway, that's kind of what we did. The other thing I was thinking about, driving down and sitting in the hallway, getting to get down here. When this program originally started with the IOP and the court system, we had some goals and some dreams. But I was thinking on the drive down today that, if you call our number to get help, I don't know where you'll land in the Shepherd's House. I just know that Ashley Dow will answer the telephone and put you in the right place, and she's a graduate of this program that we designed. I was thinking about Blake. I get feelings. I've been in treatment for a long time, and I get feelings about people, and sometimes I get an overwhelming feeling that someone's not going to be with us long. I'm right 90% of the time. My last feeling I got was this young man. I looked at him, I said, he's going to be dead. He's not going to make it. He is a homeowner in Danville. He just had a baby. He pays taxes, and he goes to work every day. Roger Fox, same thing. Tanith Wilson, same thing. So the goal that we had when we did this, there's your outcome report. So
I'm proud of you, Blake.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Awesome.
That's enough.
All right. Well, thank you, Jerry.
Did we see it? Did we get a funding request from you guys for this year?
Don't think so yet.
Okay. Is one coming? We're in budget.
I doubt it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. tell you what we've done. I don't always give you the finances. You know, when I started at the Shepherd's House, we had 2 employees and $13,000 in the bank. We have 50-some employees and more than $13,000 in the bank.
That's good. Yeah, good.
The reason I tell you that is we've been real smart with the way we did money, and then we also tried to make this a good place to work. You know, the gentleman that went before me said, I can't get anybody for that price. Well, I can't get them for that price anymore either. So I actually was thinking while Blake was talking, I've got 7 employees that make $20,000 more than I did when I started as CEO. So we've come a long way. We've got full health benefits. I did not have full health benefits when I started. So we've come a long way, but my $30,000 employee, I can't get for less than $45 now. And my $40,000 employee, I can't get less than $55. But we usually will ask the city for a little bit of money because the county pays us to provide a service and they use our service. So we usually ask them for a gift, and your all's gift to us is creating the program.
I like that model.
Yeah, so your gift to us was letting us into the county and keeping us running, and that thing kind of took on a life of its own. That IOP has become the community's answer. Yeah. It's bigger than I ever dreamed it would be as far as moms calling, people walking through the front door. We wanted to help the people in the court system, and we ended up getting everybody. So your all's gift to us was designing the program and partnering with us.
And that IOP is nationally recognized, right?
It took off a life of its own. Blake, where all have you been now? You're going to Nashville to present. Where have you been?
We went to Denver and presented.
Yeah. I mean, we've been everywhere.
We're the model.
Yes.
Yeah, we're the model.
Yeah, you're the model, and then your Gelda Jobs, which Blake also oversees, your Gelda Jobs thing that we did with SAMHSA, with the SAMHSA money is going to be presented in Washington. So this is all coming out of Boyle County. We're doing 3 programs out of Boyle County that we're running around the country showing everybody else how to do. So it kind of took on a life of its own, and you know, I was, you know, Barry had some health issues recently, and I was real worried. But I think back to when that all started and what we thought this was going to be. I was like, oh my God. I mean, we sold ourselves short with what we were trying to do with what we ended up getting. So it's been amazing, but you know, much like everybody else, you know, I love the community. So.
Well, thank you all for what you all do and helping people in the community to overcome addiction and
Judge, I've got a
legal
point
life.
before they leave. Last month, we went to a statewide conference of magistrates and judges, and I walked into healthcare administration 51 years ago, and if you applied for a job at our corporation or any other corporation in Louisville and put down that you had alcohol or drug abuse problems, you weren't even interviewed. That's how far we've come from a healthcare administrative side and job side. We were stunned in our conference last month statewide. There's an outfit out of California called Net Recovery. Are you familiar with it? Okay, good. Please monitor or come back 2 weeks from today, because we're going to have them on a virtual meeting here. And I am prayerfully hopeful that their program is what we saw represented that day by a couple of their folks who've gone through treatment. It's just absolutely extraordinary. And I'm hoping that they're going to get FDA approval sometime within the next year or so. So please tune in or come.
Yeah, another thing that I was really grateful for, you know, thinking back to when this all started, we're running a company. We're running a multi-million-dollar company now. We're running a company with the, besides this room, that the rest of society threw in the garbage. We're running a company with it. Yeah. That's due to this room. Because you guys had a vision, I had a vision, we partnered, and you know, so you wanted a businessman, and we gave you one, and we gave you 50 of them. Everybody that's working for the Shepherd's House outside of 2 employees are in recovery, and everybody working at the Shepherd's House outside of 7 employees are graduates of one of our programs. I don't know if it's going to be the girl program, the IOP, the SAP program. I don't know what it's going to be, but you graduated somewhere.
We're happy to be a part.
So
do y'all work with Terry Dunn as well? He's
for the syringe. For the dose count and things like that.
Narcan and stuff like that, yes. Okay,
yeah.
all right, perfect.
And we also got our Narcan thing. Actually, we had an incident down at the Grand County Jail. Very solid. But kid comes in, ODs, hits the floor. They first person through the door that Narcan's him gets hit with it because it went into the thing, and he goes down. Next person pops him. 6 went down in the jail cell. From where I guess it got into the airway and it took them all out. So when you say Narcan, we're used to it. But anyway, besides, thank you guys for the part of the jail.
Thank you.
We appreciate y'all.
Yeah,
All right.
appreciate
Thank you
it.
guys, thank you.
Y'all have a good day.
You too.
All right, next is Sheriff Taylor. Sheriff Bottom.
There was a famous Sheriff Taylor, right? Just thank you all for allowing me to come talk to you, or talk about some things here. Sam, come in here.
Anybody else that's out there can come in.
So first off, the quarterly report, we've had 2,693 calls for service from January 2nd when I took over to March 31st. We've seized over 2 pounds of narcotics, that's not including marijuana, fentanyl, meth, cocaine, crack, any type of other thing besides marijuana.
Now, 2 pounds doesn't sound like a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot in 3 months. We've seized over 25 firearms, either related to drug trafficking and or felon in possession of firearm. I just had a couple of numbers there I want to throw together to let you know we've been out working, and not only have we recovered firearms and narcotics in our community, but we've gone on tips and stuff in other communities thanks to the backup program, and been able to help other communities get drugs off their streets too. So one thing I wanted to start with, my wife and I traveled the United States for the last 6 years doing dog competitions. So you meet really neat people doing those types of competitions, and I wanted to recognize, I'm sorry if I'm getting emotional, it's a very good friend of mine. He just retired, well, the Department of Homeland Security, United States Secret Service just retired his canine, Danny, for 8 years and 8 months of protecting the White House, protecting 3 presidents, and has traveled all over the United States, including Mount Rushmore, Mar-a-Lago, and Bedminster. He has been a vital canine to protect our citizens and our presidents, and having him been able to retire, I can actually do this now, but I'm going to make him an honorary canine for the Boyle County Sheriff's Office.
Awesome.
Now that he's retired, I can, we may or may not have done some dog competitions here in town, and he would come, and I would let him get in the water to let him cool off. He wasn't allowed to compete because he belonged to the United States government. But I dubbed him, our team name is Team Iron Patriot. So now Team Iron Patriot will be able to, our event in July at the showroom, I'll be able to get up there with a retired canine from the Secret Service. So I just wanted to throw that out there. But one of the real reasons we're here today, on January 5th, 2023, Sheriff's Deputy Samuel O. Butler responded to a missing persons report on Upper Salt River in Boyle County, Kentucky. The missing person was an autistic juvenile. Deputy Butler immediately began assisting with an organized search and quickly located a possible track of the missing juvenile. Deputy Butler soon located a juvenile lying on the ground unconscious, showing signs of hypothermia. Deputy Samuel O. Butler actions, again, this means a lot to me. His actions in that event resulted in an autistic juvenile's life being saved. Deputy Butler's actions brought great credit upon himself and as well as the Boyle County Sheriff's Office. So today, I give Deputy Butler a life-saving accommodation. Thank you, sir. Thank you all for your time.
Sam, would you like to say anything?
This was not expected. I just consider what I done, doing my job, protecting this community. Most of you know I retired from Danville and was glad to get the opportunity to come back. Not originally from here, but this feels like home.
Well, we're proud of you. We're proud of the work that you do. We thank you for the life-saving skills that you have, and we're able to assist with this child.
And I will add, Sam works Monday through Friday up here. He does all our IT stuff, and he also works with Brian, emergency management. This was at night. Sam was at home. I won't disclose where he lives, but he does not live in Boyle County, and he came to this seat. So.
But when you say it's all in a day's work, you don't ever really know what that's going to involve.
That's right.
So anything can happen any time of the day, night, whatever. So we thank you for your service, and we thank you for being part of the Boyle County Sheriff's Office team.
Glad to do it. Be here as long as they want me around.
Thank you, Sheriff Bottom.
Thank you all.
All right, our road supervisor, Roger Johnson, will take up the rest of our meeting.
I don't know if I can follow that up. That's a good deal.
You come on up. We've got several things to discuss.
Yes, we do. First, I want to introduce our new employee for the road department, Dutch Martin. His granddad was a member of the, Mr. Morris Martin. So this is one of them old Forkland boys, and we've got him on the team now. So
awesome.
That's all good.
And when does he start?
He's done started.
He's done started.
Matter of fact, when we get down here, he needs to be at Constitution Square.
Do we take his rate of pay or anything off the top of your head? Or?
I think I have it here. 13, 15, 36, is that right?
I think so.
15, 36.
Yeah.
All right, well, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
We appreciate you being
Well,
here.
I appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody got any questions for Mr. Martin?
No, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Lots to do.
All right, Dutch, you can go.
Now get to work.
Kept you long enough.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
next is...
Good morning.
Good morning, that's right.
Or good lunchtime or whatever.
It's still morning.
Yeah, okay. I'd like to start with asking for bid outs on the Pumpkin Run project.
Okay, so we have a letter that the project has been authorized to provide emergency funding for a drainage structure on Pumpkin Run Road. This project was approved for $52,440. A check for 50% of that amount will be sent to us right away. Once the project is completed by April the 3rd, 2024, we will then complete a form. We will submit TC 2038, and then the remaining balance of $26,220 will then be processed and sent to us by a second check. So,
Motion to approve.
I second.
all right, motion by Magistrate Cullum, second by Magistrate Bodner. Any discussion on the Pumpkin Run Culvert project? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. Next.
Okay, we have a county road aid, which is...
Okay. We
and,
have a
Miss-
resolution.
Yes.
We have an agreement. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You're good. You got it.
Talk on
You
top
got
of
it.
each
You got it. I know it. We're excited about it.
Yeah, we're really excited about this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so County Road Aid Cooperative Program Agreement. We received word that we have been approved for $738,530.40 for county road aid funding. We have researched, Julie has researched back, and I don't think she found anywhere that we have ever received this amount of county road aid funds, so we are super excited. We started a list of roads that this will go toward prior to knowing the amount that we were getting, so now we are going back and adding to that list.
Well, we're gonna redo it.
Yeah,
so
because we were at
good
like
deal.
the 300,000 mark,
Right.
and that's about all we had planned for. So
Right.
knowing that we're gonna get 738,000 is an awesome contribution to Boyle County, and we want to thank those that were in charge of this and sending this money our way. We want to thank those. So we also have a resolution number 23.04.11 that I would like a motion and second
So
to
moved.
approve that resolution. Okay?
Second. Oh, Larry.
All right, motion by Magistrate Ellis, second by Magistrate Harmon. Is there any discussion on the county road aid funds or resolution?
Can we say no to blue?
Can we get a list of all the roads? Will we have that available?
We can have that available.
I think you have a list of all the roads, or you want to list
Oh, you
all
mean
the
the
roads
roads
we
that we're
want to
gonna
do?
do? Yeah.
Yeah,
We
we
can provide
will
that.
get that, we will get that out to you, and I would like to have some help
Yes.
from you all to
Yes,
kind
I
of,
would tell you what roads we think.
yes.
Help from everybody except for Tom.
Well, I mean, some of you don't have
I'm
county
happy
roads.
I'm happy to share my money with somebody else. I'm happy to pass my money on.
And they will be, once you submit any roads, Roger and them will grade those roads to see,
Right.
order of severity. So
Right.
we want to make sure that we get the ones that are in the worst shape done first. So
Exactly. And then, I don't know if that payment was coming in, I didn't know if I need to tell you that or not, but you'll probably
we
already know that it's like 60-30 and then 3% of that money that we get goes back into, emergency funds.
That's right.
So,
As long as Darlene knows where it goes. And
Yeah.
it comes
yes,
out.
well, that's the way it is.
all right, so all those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries.
I think we all have to officially sign that, right?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know that
Yeah,
you-
it's back in there.
Okay, so we normally just
I
write them
know,
in, but if you all want to
Trevor.
sign it, that's fine.
However you
Oh,
want.
yeah, in the past, we've always signed it.
You'll pass it around.
I'll still say okay.
Yeah, if you'll pass it, I'll start right here.
Well, that was the good news.
That sounds bad.
Oh, it's not bad.
Okay.
Well,
We just need that back page.
Sorry. All right, next.
all right, I'm asking permission to buy a wheel loader with some ARPA funds.
Okay.
And I guess what I'm needing is to to do that, and I want to use state contract
Okay.
to do that, so we don't have to
That's
go
awesome.
through the big process of bidding it out and all that.
Understanding the need, I make that motion.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second? Second, okay. Motion by Magistrate Ellis, second by Magistrate Sleeper. Is there discussion?
So we're sure we can use ARPA funds for this?
Yes. And it's a situation to where it's a $200,000 tire wheel loader that we probably would not ever have funding for in the future.
Right.
And it's something that is needed by Public Works and something they can do a lot of work with that they currently can't do without renting a piece of equipment or
Contracting
or
out.
contracting out with someone else. So, yeah, it would really help, for them to be able to do the work they need. All right, any more discussion?
Second.
He got it.
Me.
Okay. Motion by Magistrate Ellis, second by Magistrate Harmon. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. Do you already have bid or a quote for that?
Well, I have some quotes for
From
that.
state contract?
Well, yes, and I gotta get I've got one from Caterpillar, and then I've talked to the guys from John Deere and also from Komatsu, or Brandeis, on a wheel loader also. So they're all in agreement to do a state contract on that. It's just a matter of listening to their pitch and see who's got the best warranty and all that to, you know, I mean, you're spending $200,000 here. I want to, you know, we need to be on top of it.
Does this require training for its use?
No.
For you, yes.
I'd like for you to know how to run it, yes.
Let's get a motion to go ahead and pay for that. Is that what you'd like, Darlene?
Are you meeting with
On delivery?
them soon? On
The bidders?
bidders?
You're
Yeah,
getting your
but-
quote soon?
Well, I have already gotten quotes. It's just the matter of fact, just me looking through them and figuring out which one
Okay.
that we want to go with.
Then, yeah, we can do
Okay.
it upon delivery.
So if we can entertain a motion
So
to pay for on delivery. Motion made by Measure Ellis. Is there a second? Measure Bodner. All right. Any discussion on that? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? All right. So we got that taken care of, Mr. Johnson.
All right, then. Last but not least. Shirley and myself had a meeting with Mr. Owens about the fair that they needed help with to do some work out here to get ready for the fair because they've had to move out to, I guess it's behind the fire station.
Down off the bypass, yeah, Smoky Way.
So they have asked for us to build a track for them out there, and with some help with the city also to move some barriers from out here at the old fairgrounds out there also. So what we've kind of come up with, they're going to furnish fuel for a dozer, and we're going to come up with a dozer and one man to run it, because I don't need somebody else
We need
doing
our own
that. We need our own
operator.
operator doing that, so I have no clue how long it'd take him to clear off what they need to, but we talked about it, and we're going to furnish them a dozer and one man to take care of that, and they're going to take care of the fuel, and then whatever happens to the equipment, they said they would take care of that also. So, you know, if something breaks or they tear up something or whatever while we're doing this, they said they would take care of that too. And then during the fair, they are wanting, we usually let them have our old wheel loader to move cars around and do whatever.
And we've done that for years.
And we've done that for years. So Tim Webb, which is a part-time guy that's been with us forever, he's at the fair, so he usually is one that's operating that. So that was just, I don't know if we need to get an okay from everybody or what we need to do, but that's what's going on there. Huh?
It's budgeted?
Well, no, it's just help that we provide
just to help,
the fair.
just to help the fair. That's
It's
what.
an in-kind.
In-kind.
Yes.
Yes. So.
And you all approve it every year. I mean,
I'll make a motion we approve.
Thank you, Jason.
Okay. I'll second.
All right, motion made by Measure Cullen, second by Measure Gay. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay?
Anybody else got any questions about anything
You got
else?
anything else?
Just great work out there. Really appreciate you guys. You can call him on Sunday afternoon. How many Sundays in a row have I called him?
It don't
I didn't
matter.
call you on Easter.
No, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, guys. Just call me whenever. You know, it's just,
I'll holler.
that's part of it, you know. So I'll leave you alone. Yeah. I'll leave you alone. That's okay. Okay, yeah, I did get that. So
And Roger and I,
When it's done.
just as an update, Roger and I talked about the bridge on 2168 there by DCA.
Yeah, I need to call Nick on that.
Yeah, it was asked last year to get it done, and Allen Company never could get to it. And so I've asked Roger to make it a priority, because it's pretty bad.
Meet with Nick.
Where it
see if we
sinks
can get that
down,
kind of
right
done.
before the bridge just keeps sinking. It would be nice if they had some sort of permanent fix where we don't have to keep
Yeah.
asking them every 2 years.
Right.
but I think that probably would create more of a mess.
Well, where it's a newer road, what you know what happens there is, where they backfill them on there. It just, over the years, it just kind of keeps settling, so, you have to just keep coming back and.
Well, they could be a little more proactive on it.
Yeah.
And we've got most of the debris.
Most of the debris is taken care of, and the chipping, we have had Mark out there with the guy doing the chipping, and I think it's pretty close to being done also.
You want to update about the new stage?
And the new stage at Constitution Square, so everybody know, hopefully somebody can get on it Thursday. Miss Strilly.
Good job, good job.
But we're putting a roof on it. So we got the post set yesterday, and they're putting the floor on it today. And then, of course.
There's no underground electric right up to it, is there? Because I remember.
Oh, yes, there is.
Oh, there is now? Okay.
Yes, and we won't get into it. But anyway, yes, and actually, what we've done is we've got electric right at the stage now.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
And then still have the pedestal that was way back there behind it.
Right.
But we got electric right at the stage now. Yeah. So.
Thank you very much.
Roger, I don't
Appreciate
care what
your
Tom
hard work.
says about you and your guys. You're all right by my.
Awesome.
All right.
You're awesome.
Hey, we like to hear that, guys. We do. Thank you all.
Thank you. Have a good day. Okay, EDP lease agreement, and I think Miss Julie's going to talk about this.
It's time.
It's time
to renew our lease with EDP. I met with JJ yesterday, and we just kind of went through it. I'd like to suggest that we just get a small committee together to look through the lease. I didn't know if anybody was interested in doing that.
I'll be happy to sit.
I'm happy to.
Okay, all right.
How many people do you want?
I think that's good.
Tom, Jason, and you? And me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
All right.
it really needs to be done by June, so let's get together quickly and get that done.
All right. Thank you for volunteering. Okay, Conservation District Agreement, and I believe that is Julie again.
It's time. It's time to renew the Conservation District and discuss that again. I think we need a small working committee to work through that. That would be my recommendation. I think that Ms. Bodner would like to do that. Anybody else?
It also says that our memorandum, I can talk, of agreement shall be reviewed annually on or around May 1st.
Yes.
So time is of the essence for this one as well. Yes.
I nominate Steve. I was going to say I'll.
Okay. Magistrate Bodner and Magistrate Sleep.
I've already asked for some numbers from Darlene, and she'll have that ready for us, I'm sure, so.
What numbers do you need?
Just some numbers about how much we got in it each year and how much is going out.
They should be sending us $70,000, but starting last year, we invoice. Have we been getting that, Darlene?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've already talked to them. Yeah, I've been getting this year's.
Okay, because last year we spent $50,431.65 so far this year.
That's just the salary and the.
No, that's everything.
That's everything.
Everything.
Okay.
And the year before, we
So-
spent a total of $61,600.
So it's $54,000 for 2023.
We haven't got that to that total yet, but as of right now, from July till the end of March is $50,431.
Is our truck going to enter into the budget this year? Because I know it's not in the best shape.
It's running right now. I mean, we've replaced a lot and we've done a lot with it, so.
It's my understanding too that any amount that we don't spend up to that 70, they set aside towards a new truck.
Exactly, it's supposed to be put in like a reserve account
Yeah.
for that purpose, so.
So,
All right, so
You're
we'll
good
get
right
together
now.
on a time on that. Do that, and we'll need to bring that back to the court soon. All right. Anything else on that, Jill? No. Okay. All right. Alternative sentencing insurance. This is something that was being paid prior to COVID, and it was for those people that were sentenced to community service, and they would come down and they would pay $16, $17, $16, and it's court referral insurance program. So then they would be covered during any work that they were doing on their community service. So during COVID, this kind of went away because nobody was doing community service or alternative sentencing, as it's now called. I know it is community service. We want to reinstate this. The current coverage that we currently have expires July the 1st, 2023. We have estimated 25 participants in the program. The renewal policy effective dates will be July of 23 through July of 24, and the total renewal premium is $386.25. So this is just to reinstate a program that we were already doing prior to COVID. If I can have a motion to approve.
Make a motion, we approve.
Okay, second. Motion to approve made by Magistrate Cullen, second by Magistrate Bodner. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you very much. Next, our next fiscal court meeting is set for May the 9th. The county clerk will be doing early voting, and they have asked to use the fiscal courtroom during that 6 days of early voting. So we would like to move the May 9th meeting to Thursday, May the 11th, and I would need a motion for approval on that as well.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion made by Magistrate Gay, second by Magistrate Bodner. Any discussion? All those in favor, aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. So our first May fiscal court meeting will be on May the 11th.
Our actual next meeting is April 25th.
Yeah, our first May.
May meeting, yeah.
May meeting, yeah. Okay, at this time, I would like a motion to go into executive session pursuant to KRS 61.810, paragraph 1, paragraph F, discussions or hearings which might lead to the appointment, discipline, or dismissal of an individual employee, member, or student without restricting that employee, member's, or student's right to a public hearing if requested. This exception shall not only be interpreted to permit discussion of general personnel matters in secret. I'd like to ask everyone to leave the room except for Steve and Director Rogers.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion made by Magistrate Cullen, second by Magistrate Gay. All those in favor, aye.
You're not firing me, are you? It was nice. There's not a camera back there.
Oh, I need to stand up. Oh.
I can leave, right?
I'm
I'm done, right?
You're in the hot
That's what I've done, that's it. Okay.
I'll second.
Entertain a motion for us to return to regular session.
Make that motion.
I'll second it.
Second, okay, motion made by Mr. Tillman, second by Mr. Gay. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Just to clarify, no action was taken.
No action was taken. Took the words right out of my mouth, Jason.
Thank you.
Okay, next we are up to magistrate reports, and Jason, I announced at the last meeting, I don't know if you heard it or not, but any committee reports that you have, you can go ahead and do them the meeting closest to when
Okay.
you have them. You don't have to wait until the
Okay.
second meeting.
All right.
So we will start with Magistrate Bodner today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we started with Magistrate Ellis last time.
All right, that sounds good. Just looking into the bike park, some way to use that land that we have at Alum Springs, and that's talking with Bluegrass and Jon Strom and some other people to try to see if we can make that happen. And then I've been driving around the roads of Boyle County, my district, to see what. So this is good news, getting more money than we needed. So I mean, not than we needed.
No, we need it all.
We need more, yeah, but more than we expected. So glad to hear that. And other than that, we're doing pretty good.
Awesome. Thank you.
You should have a lot to report.
Magistrate Harmon, let's hear your report.
We're glad to see
On
you.
the 21st of March, I had therapy for, it's been a long road, a different road, a new road, and appreciate you all and your prayers and thoughts and visits. And even got a basket of flowers. I said, oh Lordy, I've died.
It wasn't in the rain, you're okay.
It was in a basket.
There you go.
It was a cheer you up.
It was.
As long as it wasn't a spray.
Yeah.
Didn't use one.
Jamie's over here.
It's good to be back, and I'll do what I can do. And pretty much, as long as I got a wife and get along with her, she drives me.
Feed you.
Yep,
Yeah.
feed me.
Yeah.
It
Well,
ain't much.
We are happy to have you back.
Yeah. Thank you all very much. That's all I have.
All right, thank you.
We're glad. I don't have much to report. I'm just getting back into here. One thing I do want to figure out, I think there's a meeting possibly with the city manager coming up. Can we talk to him about the encroachment into White's Park and our property where they just kind of tore it up out there without, from my understanding, saying a word to us about it?
Okay.
The way that property goes, it kind of L's out, and they've torn that whole section up without word one to, hey, this is your property, are you okay if we just mess it all up? So,
We'll do that.
possibly maybe ask that we get our county surveyor out there to survey the property
Awesome.
and put some spikes out there to let them know.
Judge, if you need approval on that, I'll make the motion.
Oh, no, that's okay. We can do that.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
We can do that.
We need to know, that is a very valuable piece of county property.
Correct.
Extraordinary.
Nothing's been traded out yet. There's been no conversations that had affirmed that, yeah, you can use this property. They sure as heck wouldn't appreciate if we just went out there and started tearing up their property.
Right.
So, and then more importantly, we need to make sure that we definitely, I mean, Chris did a lot of good work before about getting that memorial deeded, but we need to make sure that they pay specific attention to that section if we ever do trade out something with them. So, other than that, I'm glad to be back. I missed Boyle County a lot, so I've been traveling the last couple months, and it's good to be home.
And we want to reiterate, congratulations to you on the birth of your new granddaughter.
Yes, yes. Eliana Villacresis.
And congratulations on your new accreditation.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, thank you. I'm very excited to get up in the air and start my career as a pilot. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So very, very blessed to have good friends that really, bless me greatly. So.
All right. Thank you very much.
I just want to also glad to have Magistrate Harmon back, so glad he's here and looking well, so prayers answered there. I do want us to make sure, and I think we are going to remember the victims of the shooting in Louisville, which is way close to home, and there was a, not related to the bank part of the shooting in Louisville yesterday, but in the other shooting, the young man that was killed in that shooting, his brother attends Center College, and so there was even a really close to town kind of connection with that incident as well. So obviously a tragic story and tragic loss of life in a lot of ways. So that the Finance Committee is continuing to work and hear from the different departments as we have, and we will continue that process today.
Shortly.
Really shortly.
So our day continues again today, and we have so several of our different department heads will be reporting as we work with the judge in putting her budget together, her first budget that then obviously comes to the fiscal court for ultimate approval as the court's budget.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
All right.
Well, as we recognize that this was Animal Control Week, it's also National Pet Day today.
Oh, wow.
So,
Didn't know that.
And I was reading an article how a pet can actually increase your life, your cardiovascular health, so do your heart some good and adopt a pet.
All right.
I'd like to thank Mike for a tour he gave me of the EMS facility, and I really appreciated that. He gave me a very, very good tour, and appreciate that. Been talking, citizens coming up to me, and they seem to appreciate the fact of what the fiscal court does, and they appreciate the decisions, the enormity of the decisions we have to make with our limited budget. So it's nice that the citizenry appreciates that, so just thought I'd pass that along as well. We have been working, Magistrate Gay, myself, and Julie Julie's been, again, I know I'm probably sounding like a broken record, praising her every time we have a meeting, but the amount of work that she's doing on our animal control ordinance and Animal Control and Humane Society joint agreement and the policy and procedures for animal control, just a tremendous amount of work. So we've been working on that, and things are coming together there.
A lot of long hours that went
A lot
into
of long
that.
hours, yeah, and Judge Bottom as well, too. I just also want to express my thanks as a rookie magistrate to the veteran magistrates here who have been helping me along, and I especially want to shout out to Magistrate Gay for helping me navigate these committee appointments, because he's been helping me along the lines of knowing things that have to do with the committees and such. So, and just again, thank Julie, because she's making sure I do not run out of reading material.
She keeps us well supplied.
Anyway, I think that's it. So dealing with roads and animals, it's gonna go back and forth. But anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Judge. We are historic Danville and Boyle County, and of the, I could quickly name 10 extraordinary people in this community who are concerned with preservation and it's just absolutely amazing history all the way down to the Constitution being written not a half mile from here. We lost one of the most important people in the community over the weekend. Ken Harmon passed away on Saturday. And Peg and I got to know him extremely well for our interest in history and preservation. And he and his wife had even rehabbed an 1820 house in Perryville sometime back. So pray for his family. We, to the credit of Angie and Roger, they've been out measuring the frontage on US 68 so that we can screen our convenience center, because we have at least 3 individuals who are very interested if and when the state finally gets through with the deaccessioning of the Crawford House so that it can be sold at auction. It will really enhance anybody coming and going from Harrodsburg, because they come from historic Harrodsburg and come here and vice versa. it will enhance that property and make it perhaps go to a higher bidder if we can get that done, and ideally, we've mentioned it before, in the spring. There was some confusion, and we've looked at some bids with respect to a wooden plank fencing, but I think that would look too industrial, and so we're going to be looking into shrubs and trees as a possibility, and look for local bidders, because we have several who would participate on that. We have a situation where I'm getting weekly and more often calls on a state road. And Judge, if you and I could possibly get on the phone with Kelly Baker, a solution, Counselor mentioned to me, would be, why don't we go into the property, which is causing erosion right to and even may undermine Lebanon Road in the future. But I'm not sure that we have that. It's not a condemnation process. It's telling the owner, who's an absentee owner, that they're outside of they live in Lexington, but their property is causing damage to other properties of our constituents. That's why I'm getting the call. And they need to spend money and put in a larger culvert to solve the problem. But I think, Counselor, that's a state issue, not ours, that they should be issuing either cleaning up that situation and perhaps putting a lien on the property was what was suggested to me. But
I can't answer that right now. I'll look into it.
Oh, okay, good. Could you please?
Because I don't even know what you're talking about.
I'll talk to you about it. Thank you very much. Because I'll get a call today because they said that they wanted to know something after court today. Today is National Drug Take Back Day, and I think it's also National Drug Take Back Month. Years ago, when my mother-in-law passed away, we had so many vials of pills, and we need the public to be aware. Maybe something on our Facebook page, Julie, that in the City Hall downtown, there is a contained mailbox type situation there where they legally take in anything that people have.
They'll do it at the sheriff's department.
We have one as well?
They'll do it at the sheriff's.
Okay.
Some drugstores in town also.
But we need to pay attention to that. You see ads all the time on television about kids getting into drugs that have been hanging around the family way too long. And then lastly, being a many-year resident of Louisville and Jefferson County, if we could adjourn in grave condolence to the folks in Louisville and Jefferson County about the terrible incident yesterday, I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Manager Ellis. Counselor, you have...
Just real quick, I think it's all kinds of different months, but it's also, April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month, and I think yesterday evening they put pinwheels out at City Hall, so I mean that's something that I deal with in dependency abuse and neglect cases on a daily basis. So just want everybody to remember that. Also, as Preston Miles spoke earlier, next Saturday, April the 22nd, is Earth Day, and it's going to be held at the Extension Office down on Lebanon Road, or off Lebanon Road, and it starts at 11 a.m. and it goes to 3 p.m. It was nice last year. I remember they gave away a lot of trees, a lot of literature, there was plants. It was just a really nice time, and rain or shine, they have that spot outside of the Extension Office that's covered, so it's a good event to attend. And I think that's it, other than, I don't know if I ever told Mike Rogers how much I appreciate the ambulance service. When my dad had a situation, they were there within 3 or 4 minutes, and unfortunately he didn't survive. He did survive at first, but they did a great job. I'm just so thankful for our EMS.
All right, thank you very much. A couple of things. CASA, members of CASA will be here today around 12:30 to put pinwheels out in the park. So if anybody wants to hang around and be a part of that, they'll be here around 12:30. Also, I did not know this until last night when I attended the City of Danville Commissioners meeting. It's also National Telecommunications Week, and so we want to say thank you to our 911 dispatchers and all that they do to help all of our first responders get the information that they need to go where they need to go. And you know, it's a big job, and they have got calls coming in from all different departments at all the same time. So, and they do a magnificent job in keeping it all straight and giving the correct information out that needs to be given. And I just want to give a shout out to our 911 communicators there at the Danville City Hall, at the basement. Also, we lost, and it's pretty ironic that it happened during the 200th anniversary of KSD, but we lost a wonderful person in our community, Mrs. Edith Stallard, this past week. And I would like for us to adjourn in memory of Mrs. Stallard. She served countless Boyle Countyans as a deaf interpreter and was a devoted champion of the Kentucky School for the Deaf. She will be missed both on and off campus and in the Boyle County community. And I had lots of privileges to be around Dot when she was here for court to do interpreting. And she's a wonderful lady, and family is just a wonderful family, so I want us to adjourn in memory of her. And then also, in addition, the victims of the Louisville shootings yesterday, our hearts go out to their families, and just a bad experience, bad place to be yesterday in Louisville. And then also, we'll adjourn in memory of Ken Harmon as well, so thank you for doing that. Yeah.
Make that a motion to adjourn.
All right, we have a motion to adjourn, seconded by Measure Bodner. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. Thank you all.
All right. If anybody wants to see the new ambulance, it's outside.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
There you go.
Thank you.